want to say hello to everyone. I'm Dr. Tamara Smith, the Program Director for General Education at Berks Technical Institute. And today we have two wonderful guests introducing our new podcast series on how we are building bridges to successful careers for our students in the community and surrounding areas. So today we have with us Mr. Craig Poole, who is a national award-winning CEO and General Manager of the DoubleTree Hotel in Reading, Pennsylvania. And more importantly, we have Mr. James Reece, who is the Director of Education at Berks Technical Institute. And so today we want to talk a little bit about the mission and what we actually do at Berks Technical Institute and how it connects us and all of the wonderful things we have planned for our students. So I'd like to start with you, Mr. Poole.
Super.
Okay, I'd like to ask you, as a business leader in our community, tell us how important it is to be involved in building bridges between the community and our school at BTI.
Well, that's a great question, and BTI is the best answer. It's one of the best answers, but right now it's the best answer.
Yes.
And one thing I like, BTI, this city, it needs more financial stability. It needs more people that understand that how education will get them more time with their families. Education will get them more money. Education will get them more, it'll improve their credit scores. But they got to have the education to do it. Yes. And learning. For some reason in this city, there's people have been working 2 jobs or 3 jobs, and they don't have time to read, they don't have time to learn. So there's a time, if you're going to fix a city, you need to stop, take a breath, go learn a new trade. Go learn your own trade and be better at it. So BTI has the availability of updating people to be current. Instead of, there's a lot of people here stuck in the past, what they did. You have the new innovations, the new way to learn, even for the same jobs they have today. So if we're going to be a forward-moving city, we need forward-moving thinking, and it takes forward learning to get to that. Yes, so I applaud BTI because they're a forward-moving education system.
Thank you. I love that. And Mr. Reece, if you could just launch a little bit off of that and talk to us about the mission of BTI. What is it that makes us different from the other schools? Because I think we're very different.
Well, I think part of it, and you use the word mission, and I think if you're mission-centered, you can look beyond the end of your own nose and define your purpose as being something more than just imparting some technical skills, which we do very well. But we also know that these are people who come back into the community and back into their homes. And we have a very large base of Reading resident.
Yes.
And so we need to incorporate the entire student and the entire student life into helping to create some awarenesses that this is not just about learning a skill. It's about being a part of the community. It's about being able to provide for your family in a little bit better and grow the neighborhood up around that.
Yes, I really, and I'm enjoying what you're saying because community is everything for our students and they need to be able to give back. I remember meeting you for the first time, Mr. Poole, and I came to a wonderful meeting that when he came into the area, he established himself and asked everyone who was interested in doing something for the city of Reading to come to a meeting. So I, of course, answered one of those clarion calls, and I came out and met Mr. Poole. And I sat and listened to him speak, and I was just awestruck, not so much with how you were saying it, but with what you were saying. He was actually asking all of the community to come together. If you have a business, if you own a business, if you're working at a business, if you're at a school, we need to come together and do something great for this city. And that is how we got connected in the first place.
We did, and I actually spoke to somebody about that yesterday. Just yesterday afternoon, we had that conversation
because
about that
isn't that a trail that you've had for a while now in your career? So
Right.
talk to us a little bit about that.
Right, so that's a great question. Fortunately, I just rehearsed it yesterday because we brought that up at a meeting. And the same thing with BTI. When you bring people together under common principles, common knowledge, like you're bringing people together that want to learn about massage or IT or driving a truck, whatever that is, you're bringing people together. So you're building a community of people that are the same.
Yes.
And once they get aligned, you can move it powerfully. But when you have a silo learner, or they're not learning. So and what I like about BTI, you're bringing people with the same interest, the same goals, the same looking for the same opportunities. So it's challenging. So I have to be better than normal. I have to read a little more. I have to study a little more. So it's challenging, but it's more successful. So we did bring people together. Everybody that was involved in the life of a child. We brought 40 people that day together, and what was amazing to me is that those 40 people didn't know each other. They all worked on the system of a child that might have been injured or hurt or inside of the system, but they did not know each other. And I thought, well, if you get yourselves together, you'll fix this child better. Well, that's what you do at BTI. You bring people together that are learning, and you're putting them into a field that the city needs, but they need educated people to do it. They need people that have self-esteem. I have a degree, I have more self-esteem. I don't know sometimes what the degree does, but if it gives you self-esteem, it gives you forward motion.
True.
Plus, you now are connected to peers that do what you do. So you have someone to call on. You can't do that if you're just doing it online, or sometimes if you're being a silo, as I call it, doing it by yourself. You can't grow as well as you can grow with other people. I think, and I see the enthusiasm in BTI. I see the family in BTI. I mean, I was there for the graduation, and I go there for other things, and I see this connectiveness and that's the bridge that we just talked about. You're connecting people here to be connected over here. And the joy and the family spirit that was there was unbelievable. I'm a fan of BTI.
Thank you so much, Mr. Poole.
Appreciate that.
And Mr. Reece, talk to us a little bit about how you feel BTI is building that bridge with the community.
Well, I think we do it by recognizing that we have a responsibility to do that. And you know that we have our internal conversations, among faculty, that we teach 24/7, and we teach by doing things that are beyond imparting that technical knowledge. So when you walk down the hallway, what are you teaching your students? When you pass them in the hallway, what are you teaching them about how they should pass people in the hallway? How do you address them? How do you respect them? And even in terms of the occasional disagreement or confrontation, how do you respect them within that? So when they have their conversations and their disagreements, maybe there's a lesson there. Maybe there's a model that they can use to bring that back into the community. So I think it's raising that consciousness, and Dr. Smith, that we have those conversations inside as part of our own learning.
Yes.
All the time.
Yes, and I love that. And for all of you that are listening, our students are so inspirational, and they're coming with lots of stories, lots of background, a lot of experiential knowledge. They're coming with a lot to the table. And what I like the best about BTI is that it creates successful students, but successful, even more than that, human beings that are able to work into the community, to give back to the community, and to just go out and really fulfill the desires of their hearts. We have a student here at the hotel who's just like that, and she is finishing her externship. I just happened to be at a wedding a couple of months ago, and I looked up and I saw our student working. She's finishing her externship hours. Her name is Mabel Reyes. And my understanding is that she's going to be hired here.
No, we just promoted her. She works here,
Oh my goodness.
and we actually promoted her to be a supervisor.
Oh
Right,
my
just
goodness.
recently.
And that is incredible. I mean, how do these things happen,
Right.
Mr. Poole? How do you make these things happen and joining the community in school? And how can we teach other businesses to really recognize what's happening at BTI, that this is our mission and this is what we do? And this is the difference for me. We do it quite well.
You do very well. So let me tell you about Mabel, because she's outstanding. She's a lovely lady, and she's getting her degree from you, and she works here, and she's a supervisor right now, because she needs to be a supervisor. We want to get Mabel into a home. We want to get Mabel's credit score. To do that, we have to get her credit scores raised. You need financial literacy. You need to have to go to school to learn to get financial literacy and have a good job. Yes. If we can move her from a 500 or 400 credit score to 700, she's going to own a home. And she's going to have financial literacy, knowing how to live in a neighborhood. Not just a great job, not just a salary, but
yes.
a lifestyle that she needs to have, because she's a beautiful woman, a beautiful heart, and a beautiful soul. And we're together as a bridge, building a bridge between businesses and community and BTI. We're doing that because we're making an opportunity for the Mabels of the world to plant them in the city in a home with a 700 credit score. And if you have 700 credit scores in your neighborhood, you don't have crime. You don't have bad health.
Yes.
And you have healthy community, what you all want.
Oh,
And
I love
BTI
that.
is a big, big, big piece of that.
And you know, that's the whole mission of technical school education, that at the end of this, you're going to be working, you're going to be able to sustain yourself, your families. There needs to be a job at the end of this. And so our programs really speak to that. And Mr. Reece, I know you can add to that discussion how we do that.
Well, again, there's a variety of programs, there are a variety of needs and a variety of interests, and obviously we want to try and create opportunities for where people have an interest and where the market has a need, and to combine those two things together to make the place work just a little bit better. The other thing that happens with education is that the person themselves become the model. And we have a lot of first-time post-secondary students that come in, and a lot of it sometimes is expressed, I want this for my child. I want to show them that it is possible, you know, that I can provide a path for them that may not have been pathed for me. And, you know, to be able to embrace that and take that into a culture that supports that and provides all of the support mechanisms that a lot of us need. You know, we do that as well. I mean, we have Safe Berks on site. We have an advocate who is there. We are you know, a member of the Greater Berks Food Bank. We have a food pantry for those who suffer food insecurity. We have student services and outside references, academic support. Because it takes all of those things. It's not just walking into a classroom going blah, 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 imparting my great knowledge, and then having the student, that doesn't work. That's not enough. And so we teach by what we do, and at the end of this, when we're lucky enough to have that student stay with us and work through everything that they need to work through, they walk out with not just a degree, a piece of paper, but they walk out with something inside that can never, ever, ever, ever be taken away. And that just then pays it forward, and we just do that. And if we can do that well enough, and if we can do that often enough, and we can combine, we can bridge with the city from where they come from and where they go back to, and people like you and businesses like yours, then there's this symmetry, this holistic thing that happens, and we don't have to worry about the edges because we've got them all, you know, between you and me and their neighborhood and their church. We can be sure that they can achieve their dream.
And that's that holistic education that's absolutely wonderful. It is what Berks Technical Institute is all about. and we're looking for students who are wanting to change their lives. If that's what you're interested in and you're wanting to take the next leap of faith into what will be, I'm sure, a life-changing career, come on out to Berks Technical Institute. Talk with an admissions rep. Take a tour of the building. Come visit Mr. Reece in his office or myself in my office. And certainly you can stop by and see Mr. Craig Poole anytime. We welcome you. So we're looking forward to you tuning in to the rest of our podcast. We're building a bridge to career success.